And here's rehab trick number 2. Always put in a new furnace, because if your tenant can't afford their utility bill, they're not going to pay you. And also, you know, do not install your furnace until the day the tenant is moving in. So say hi, furnace guys.
Oh, we here. we here.
Hi, furnace guys.
New equipment.
Yeah. So, and that way it doesn't accidentally walk away with some sticky fingers, which doesn't happen too often, but still, a couple times a year it can really cost you some money. So, all right, guys.
Okay.
All right, so we got tip number 3 here, and the floor's a little dirty because we got people walking in and out putting in the furnace today. But one of the big issues when you buy a lot of these Detroit houses is old flooring in the kitchen. And George has got a couple tricks that he does to keep it really price effective and still make it look like $1 million bucks. So go ahead, George.
Okay.
What did it look like before? Yeah.
There was an existing floor under here. It was tile with hardwood under it. It was in pretty bad condition. So what we do is just take 1/4-inch Luan, and we...
Which that is that stuff right there that we're using to try and keep the floor. Yep.
Yeah, very nice smooth finish. You got to make the butt joints nice and solid and fit the edges good. You nail it down thoroughly. I put a nail every 6 inches in the edges, every 8 in the field. That way it doesn't have any way to move. And then we use, actually on this is a self-stick tile. These run about 99 cents a piece.
Yeah, make a good point. Those aren't the cheap ones. Those
no,
are
they're not the cheap ones by far. And they're not the most expensive. They're middle of the line, but they're a very good, durable tile. These will last 20 years if you keep them up.
Yep.
I make sure I keep a little gap at the edges because you have expansion with heat and shrinkage with cold. That's why I use a shoe molding around it. That way I can leave a little gap. It's got a little room to move.
Yeah, that's the shoe molding right here. So, and if you don't mind giving away your trade secret, how much did this whole floor actually end up costing you?
The whole floor altogether, I had 140 square feet of tile, so $140. The Luan, I used 4 sheets, so you're looking at about $28 for that. A few nails. The metal for it costs around $30 to do the stair edgings and all, and then the labor involved. So.
Yep. And that's the first thing. We actually have the land contract tenants here because furnace is going in. They get utilities turned on. They don't get to move in until that happens. And the one thing they commented on always, typically, is the kitchen floor and how nice it looks. And for $300 or $250.
Yeah,
it's something that really stands out, makes it look like $1 million bucks, and they always comment on it. A very price-effective way to make it look like, make it last forever, and make it look like $1 million bucks. So.
And one other tip, I use a beige, a light colored tile because it brightens the kitchen. Women especially like a bright, cheery kitchen. So it's nothing dark or dreary. It brightens it up, yet it's neutral. They can match any color they want to it.
Yep.
Just something to consider.
Yeah, it does look good. It's amazing how even in 3 years, how far these stick-on tiles have come. That, you know, 3 years ago I wasn't really using them, and the quality wasn't there. And now I've seen them. They put some of the more expensive ones at $2 one, and you know, $500,000 homes now. The quality is really high now. Yeah. So I'm very impressed with it. All right, thanks for the tip, George.
You're welcome.
Hold on. All right, guys, here we are. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Detroit Investor TV. Here are some of the how-to videos I promised. Actually, the house we started on a month ago is finally done. And one of the biggest issues we had was, remember I showed you in the video, was we had the old wood windows in. And now every window in the house has been replaced with new double pane vinyl windows. And my general contractor George is going to tell you the magic behind it and how he did it. So start with the problem. What was the problem first, George?
The problem was I have an old existing opening and they don't make a window to fit it without going to something custom, which is extremely expensive. So I picked a stock window, and what I ended up doing was just reframing. I added a 2x4 on each side, 3 2x4s on top, redid the trim on the inside, redid the trim on the outside. and then caulked everything in and painted it. So I have a nice tight-fitting, waterproof vinyl window that the owners can get some nice use out of because it's insulated, keep them warm.
Yeah, and you can't even tell looking at the inside that you had to do all that fancy magic work to make that fit. And we're going to go and walk and go outside, and I'll show you from outside. You still can't even tell from outside.
By the way, this one.
So here we are outside, and it looks like $1 million. You can't even tell. And this is a little rehab trick because these new windows are not cheap, and getting the fit on these old Detroit houses is very, very, very challenging. Basically, you're not going to find something. So either ordering something custom, which is ridiculously expensive, like $600, $700, $800 a window. Yeah, you can't afford to do that. Or you do something like this and frame it in a little better, end up costing you $250, maybe $250, maybe $3 a window. So that's like rehab trick number one. And on a lot of these old houses, we do a lot of windows. And it's really important to do the windows. I've mentioned this in previous videos. It's important to do the windows to keep the house energy efficient, because if a tenant has a choice between paying their heating and cooling bill or paying you, I promise you they are going to pay the heating and cooling company. Anyway, thanks for tuning in for another episode. Catch you guys later.